So now we'll be going over some basic throws. I recommend warming up your arms, stretching your arms a bit, and you're going to want to stretch afterwards as well. So just shake your arms out, do a couple shoulder rolls, going forward and back, rolling your shoulders back, rolling forward, head back and forth, arm across, and then the basic over as well. So you'll want to do those before and after, and hold them for a little bit longer, you know, at least like count to 10 or something. All right, so let's get started. So what you want is you want to have the hoop, your palms facing up, and you're going to grab it and squeeze it in just a little bit. So you don't want to squeeze it in so much that it's squeezing like this. You just want a little tension to stay connected to it, all right? So now once you're connected to it, you're just going to lift up and bring that half that's away from you in towards you. And that's all you're doing is you're just tossing it up and giving it a little half hold. All right, so a couple tips. You're gonna want to cushion it a bit, so don't just hit against it because it'll rebound. Go underneath it a little bit. So just a little bit of bounce in your arms, or you can, you know, do a little bit in your legs at first as well, just to give it a nice little cushion. When I go to catch the hoop, I'm going to look for that opposite side. So now as it's coming in towards me, I'm just gonna reach my hand underneath the hoop again. And once I reach underneath the hoop, I'm just gonna grab it. All right, so that's a nice and simple half spin in, right? Now we can go outwards as well. So what I want to do for this is I'm going to lift this part away from me and grab. So when I do my half spins going out, the hoop is going to want to land this way instead of this way, and that's fine. So I like to just throw from here as well. Great, you'll just lift and flick it halfway away from you, right? You can do this as well. Going up. Now with this one, I'm looking at the top part, I'm watching it come to the bottom, and then I'm grabbing the hoop. All right, so that's a half turn out. Nice and simple, so we have half turn in, half turn out. You could practice those, just practice throwing them and catching them. Practice taking it up just a little bit of height, up and over. All right, and there you go. Half spins in and half spins out. Nice little tosses, not that hard. Practice them, get to know them very well, and let's move on to the next throw. What we have for our next throw is a full spin. So for this, you're just gonna give it a little bit more twist up. I'm watching, I'm gonna do this one in towards me. I feel like full spins are gonna be easiest in towards you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the hoop, and I'm going to look at this opposite end as it goes up. So I'm watching the top of the hoop. As I watch the top of the hoop, I see two pass. I see 1, 2, and then catch. So top, tap, catch. I'm watching the top of the hoop, but I'm also still keeping the bottom in my peripheral. That way I can switch my spot and switch my gaze if I need to, which for some cases you may need to. So one more time, full spin up, going up, and catching down. For this, you're gonna wanna cushion a little bit more. So remember, you're gonna keep the hoop in your hand, keep it in your center, nice and squeezed, not too squeezed, but just squeezed enough to keep it in your center and hold your center nice as you take it up and catch it. All right, remember, watch the top of the hoop as it comes in towards you. So at first I'll see this part, which is the black and white part, and then I'll see the silver part. After I see the silver part pass, then I'm going to catch probably the silver and white part again. There we go, so same thing. So pretty much this is going at the bottom, and it's going to the top, and then I'm catching it. So I'll watch the top, and the top turn to the bottom after that. So top, top, and then down. Up, up, and down. Nice and simple, full spin throw. All right, so I'll practice those for a bit. You have your halves, halves, and holds. Remember, hands are at the bottom of the hoop, and then it's just up. Now that it's squeezed, I'm just going to rotate it. For my next toss or throw, I'm not going to spin the hoop at all. So what you want to do for this, you want to think about that opposite side going up a little bit high, and then the bottom part is going to slide off. You don't want it to be wonky like this. You want it to be nice and up. So all I'm doing is I'm going to throw it, and as I throw it, I'm going to let this slide off. So one more time, once I'm throwing it, I'm going to let this part kind of slide off and up. You kind of just follow it up with your arms. So I'm going to take it up, follow it up with my arms, and let it slide off. Now for my next toss, it's just going to be a folded toss. Now for this, you want to hold the hoop as you're already holding it, and then you're going to grab it with one side. For me, that is going to be my right side over here. And then I'm going to let go with this, let it drop down, and then let it fold over the top. All right, so one more time. Both hands at the bottom, releasing that opposite hand, letting it drop and fold over the top. Now that it's folded, I'm going to place my other hand underneath it, and I'm just going to toss it up and catch. So with that wrap, you can pretty much do any other throws or tosses you want to do. You can spin it or keep it straight and just switch your grip underneath it. Also do that the other way, let it fold, right hand underneath this time, tossing it up, catch. Just work on this a couple times, switching hands. Catch it with both hands, take one hand off, let it fold over, toss it up. Catch it with both hands, let it drop to that other side, hand underneath, toss it up. Practice this with no spins and with spins. Alright, you can also catch this one-handed. So to do that, if you just did a regular throw, you're just going to put one hand underneath and grab it with that hand. So once you grab it with that hand, you just let it fold over, and then you're in your folded toss. Alright, so with this fold, there's a lot of different combos you can do. Once you get to that fold, you can go around your chest, just throw it across, bringing it in towards you, and then you're set to go the other way as well. In towards you, and then let it drop, wrap around. You can also go into a palm spin or a finger twirl or a wrist twirl as well. So once it's folded, instead of tossing it, I'm just going to take this hand out and then spin it and let it fold again. Spin it, let it fold again. This hand out, spin it, fold. This hand out, spin it, fold. So there's a lot of different combos you can do working on your throws, right? You can do back-to-back half tosses in, then out, taking, half tosses in, and then out. Play with taking it up, play with keeping it at that same level. All right, you can also do full spins, and then combine that. No spins, and then no spins catching and folding. Into spins, catching, folding, catching, folding, catching, spin, catching, palm spin, right? There's a lot of different combos you can do with just those throws, all right? Have fun, practice them, practice safely, don't throw it too high. Just work on control and finding the hoop and where you're grabbing the hoop and how you can make it as soft and as cushioned as possible. So far we've been catching the hoop on the outside. For now, I want to talk about catching it on the inside of the hoop. So to do that, if I did a basic no spin toss, I'm going to step underneath the hoop, or I'm going to throw it up above me enough to have it fall where I am, and as it falls, I'm going to find the inside of the hoop, and I'm just going to catch it with my hands going from inside of me to the outside of me, right? So to do that, no spin, find the front of the hoop, step in, and grab it on the sides. One more time. Center, grab. So I'm watching this inside part of the hoop, and once I find that, I'm just stepping in towards it and grabbing with my hand. All right, you can also do this one-handed catch as well if you're gonna do vortexes, right? You can throw it off, throw it on, right? There's a lot of stuff you can play with. So it's all about finding that part of the hoop and then stepping underneath it. Now, you can add a spin to that as well. So what you want to do is start with the half spin going in towards you. And now as this starts to fold over, I'm going to step into that. So that means once this is at the top, that is my cue that I can step in and it will fold to where I want. Once it folds, I'm going to look for the front of the hoop and step in towards that to grab the hoop at my sides. Remember, when grabbing the hoop, my hands are going from the inside of me to the outside to reach and grab the hoop. So half in and grab. Nice and simple, right? Half in and grab. It's like you barely even have to throw it high, but you can if you want. You kind of stay connected to it the whole time with your arms as you throw your arms up, find the front, and then step under. Now, we can also do that with a full spin, going in towards us. So going in towards us, I'm going to find the top, and then the other top, and now as it folds over, I'm going to step in towards it. So we have up, up, under. Up, up, under. Now, as it starts to spin more and you do more spins going into it, you want to step underneath it. That way you can really guide the hoop to where you want. You don't want it to smack you. It's never fun. And it's an easy one to step in at the wrong time. So practice stepping down as you step into the hoop as well. All right. For the half, you can grab one-handed. For the full spins, I would not recommend grabbing one-handed. So here, grabbing, spinning if you know your vortex, right? And then with a half spin as well, grabbing, vortex, right? All right, so there are some basic throws and basic catches to those throws. Typically I would call it a basic throw, and I would say no spin or a half spin in towards you or out away from you. But there are other throws we will be going over. These are just the basic simple ones, and they will help you get some of the movesets that we need to get down. All right, so now that we learned all those throws and catches, let's add some together for a nice little fun combo that you can add into your flow or play with and add any extra little flair you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from having the hoop here. We're going to toss it up into it. We're going to turn, arms going up. We're going to toss it off, grab it with one hand, either your right hand or your left hand. As we grab it, we're going to let it fold underneath us. We're going to switch our hand, whether we want to do a swirl here or we just want to switch and fold. It's up to you. So one more time from the top, we have throwing it up, grabbing it with both hands, doing one little turn. As the hoop comes up, we're going to toss it off and catch it with one hand, let it fold, wrist spin, palm spin, whatever you want to do, and then this other one is going to go across the chest to this hand, right? So what I did from this fold, I'm just going to bring it in towards me and let it roll on my chest towards my other hand, right? So once it's here, I'm catching it on the inside of the hoop. Now I'm going to let it fold again and toss myself back into the hoop to spin and go into body hoop or any other thing you want to do. So what we have with these throws, we have tossing up, catching, spinning, up, tossing off, catching, folding, palm spin, roll, fold, up, catch. All right, so there's a lot of different things you can play with there. With the folds, you can just keep going into rolls, right? Or you can just keep going into palm spins. Or you can just keep going into folds. So there's a lot you can play with there. And then just tossing in and out. The main thing is we're working on going inside of the hoop, outside of the hoop, tossing it in, tossing it out. In, out, in, out. All right, so there are some of your basic throws and catches. I hope you have fun with them. Play with them. Feel free to tag me on Instagram, BabyChuck419, or comment below. Let me know your YouTube links. I'd love to check it out as well. On this series, I will always have timestamps in the description box, so make sure that you are checking out the description as well. That way, if you need to look up a certain area again or something, you just click on it and go right there and work on it. I'm going to try to get started on warm-ups and things of that sort. That way we can actually start doing like a full hoop class and incorporate some of these things that we've been learning and see how they apply. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will have another one up shortly.